While everything is great with Ekin, I'm getting the feeling that her and Davide have got unfinished business.
Yeah, I got carried away. It was very...
Welcome back to Romance Review TV with Lady T, and we have another recap for you guys. Love Island Season 8 episode number 16, and we have a new couple forming as two people leave the island, and we're going to unpack all of this, and the Hideaway is open once again. So before we talk about this, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications. If you like the video, smash that like button, and also feel free to leave a comment down in the comment section below. So without any other further ado, let's go ahead and unpack this drama. So as you guys remember, it left off with both Ekin-Su and Amber getting into this back and forth. Even though they did kind of bury the hatchet, all this started because he has feelings for somebody else. Then there was a double dumping. Two people had to go home, one girl, one guy, and it was voting by the public. The three least ladies was Amber, Ekin-Su, and Tasha, and of course we had Ekin, and Jay, and Andrew. And the votes came in, and the least favorite guy was Ekin, and the least favorite girl was Amber. So both of these two were dumped from the island, and you know, as much as Indiyah was so sad to see her go, it opened up an opportunity for her. And we all know that Indiyah had already broke things off and put Ekin into the friend zone. So this was their opportunity at this point to say their final goodbyes until they see them outside in the real world. And they left together. They had a pretty interesting conversation in their confessionals with producers, but you know, they were happy to leave with each other. Who knows? Maybe something will form with these two outside of the villa. I don't see a connection, but you never know. However, this puts something on the mind of Mr. Dami, because now he's now single, and so because of the person that he was with, Amber, it has been dumped from the island. Now he has an open door to make a beeline straight to Indiyah, because her guy, she already broke it off with, and he was dumped from the island as well. So there was also this conversation that Andrew and Tasha had, and they had said that, hey, if one or the other of us had got dumped from the island, I would have followed right behind you. So these two lovebirds seem to be pretty solid with each other, which no surprise there. They're not the highlight couple of the show, and technically it's only two couples. Everybody else is single right now. But according to Tasha, if they would have dumped Andrew, she would have left right behind him. So I don't know how that worked with the show, but okay. So then Indiyah seemed like she had a hard time with the departure of Ekin and Amber, because as much as, you know, she has an interest in Dami, she was still really good friends with both Ekin and Amber. So I don't know, she was wrestling with this, but I'm wondering, is a part of her hate to see them go, but what's forming with her and Demi. Speaking of Demi, he can't get Indiyah off the brain, and he's constantly in this episode thinking of her, talking about her to other people. You know, as much as he said that he hates to feel guilty, you know, but at this point, they're 2 weeks into this process. So he has to, you know, make some decisions and be able to find a connection, or guess what? He's going to get dumped too eventually. So he's definitely looking forward to trying to pursue something with Indiyah. On the flip side, Indiyah is also talking about how she's having a connection with Dami as well. I don't know. I just see more of it coming from his end, unless she's just trying to play coy or hard to get. But she seems to be as interested. She kind of filled the girls in on the conversation that she had with Dami about, being interested in building a connection and getting to know each other. So pretty much most of this episode was this back and forth with them talking to other islanders about how they feel about the other person. That's how I saw it. Because then as we saw this conversation as well, Dami was talking with Jax about all of this too. So Paige was there too, but I'm glad they kind of gave us a break in the action, because they actually were talking about how, they like the connection that they have. And I think they're doing pretty well. They're the only other couple inside of this whole situation, because Jay and Ekin-Su is the other one. It's only two couples actually. So Davide decides to bring drinks. One of them goes to Danica, which I think he wants to build a connection, but he's moving real slow with that one. So the other two couples, which was Tasha and Andrew and Ekin-Su and Jay, they're sitting down having a conversation about that threat that they were under, being dumped from the island because they were the least favored people by the public. Now, the interesting part of this whole conversation is Jay being real, I don't know if I want to say distant about this, because of course Tasha and Andrew was like, you leaving, I'm leaving. However, we did hear Ekin-Su said that if Jay would have went, she would have went with him. But Jay wasn't as forthcoming, so he's feeling, I don't think he's into this as much as Ekin-Su is. So Danica decides to have a conversation with Davide, and I don't know, she looked like she's trying to build something with him, talking about how great his tan is and he wants to be more bronzer, and it just seemed like boring banter at this point between these two, because he's hesitant. As much as she's trying to connect with people, nobody's connecting with her. So, I mean, this doesn't look like it's going anywhere. I don't see the interest. I just think they gave them TV time in this particular scene. But they're single with no connections in my book. So, this is where we do see some form of conversation with both Dami and Indiyah, and it's right now it's at the friendly stage. He's really trying to gauge where she is in the connection that she has with him, because he's all in. You can tell that Dami want him some Indiyah, and I don't mean in that way just to build a connection and be with her. Only thing is, like I said with Indiyah, I don't know, like she's playing coy. He even said that he has a feeling within himself that he wants to protect her. So he really, really is building a connection, and they seem more great friends, and maybe they can build on a relationship that way. And I think that's one of the things that Tasha was saying, to Andrew, is that, they're really great friends. That's a good place to start. And honestly, that's the truth. It's just that I just hope that she doesn't, because she wanted somebody to chase her. That was the biggest thing, where Ikenna was too reserved for her, whereas Demi is coming. But now she wants to kind of pull back and want to play coy. I don't know. I'm like, girl, this is what you wanted. He's bringing that to you. But she seemed like in this conversation with Tasha that she's really happy about it. So then on the other side of the villa, there's this conversation with Gemma and Jay. And Jay is concerned because he thinks that there is unfinished business when it comes to Davide and his girl, Ekin-Su.
While everything is great with Ekin, I'm getting the feeling that her and Davide have got unfinished business.
Oh, it's finished business when it comes to Davide. As for Ekin-Su, she's playing games, and she's probably trying to make Jay jealous. And obviously, when you got two people that like to play games, somebody is not going to like to be played with. And in this case, it seems like it's Jay, because Ekin-Su has nothing coming from Mr. Davide. So he has nothing to worry about. So it is time for the nightlife, and they all are getting together, have their little wine shots or whatever. And then there's this game that they're playing where they have to, in some sort of a fun, sexy way, break a balloon with messages. So I'm going to let you have this little montage to see some of the poses that they did. The shock expression that you see on Ekin-Su's face is because her guy, Jay, got into a passionate kiss with Paige. And of course, he's interested in Paige, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But the messiness began when Danica has a conversation with Ekin-Su, stirring this thing on, talking about the fact that, oh yeah, you need to be aware, be very aware, because Jay is definitely feeling Paige. And when you get Ekin-Su started, you need to look out, because it's about to be crazy. And it says so in this conversation because she asked Jay if she wasn't in the villa, would he choose Paige? And he answered honestly, he sure would. He asked the same question, and she said, Davide. And I'm like, but Davide don't want you, girl. I mean, you're playing games as usual once again to try to get something to rise or trigger Jay. Davide ain't got nothing for you, and you know that, but you want to use this man as a pawn to play games, whatever. So let's move on to a happier note. So there's this really romantic conversation between Indiyah and Dami, and Dami wanted to talk about that kiss that happened in that challenge that they just did. Now, he asked her if that's the best kiss she ever had, and she was like, well, let's not get too far too soon. He was like, for me, That was the best kiss I ever had. Then she was saying you were acting in front of everybody else. And I'm like, please don't do this. Don't do this. And then he was like, you know what? I don't have to act in front of other people. I can show you myself, which he did. This man is showing you true interest, Indiyah. Please don't play coy games in this situation. Ikenna wasn't giving you any energy. Dami is giving you all the energy. So Danica got a text that the Hideaway is once again open. It was given to Paige and Jax because they're the only two couples, and Ekin-Su and Jay is just not it. So they ended up going. I think this was well deserving of these two. I know people were trying to send Indiyah and Dami, but they're not officially a couple. Neither is Luca and Gemma because they were split up. And then the other two islanders left. Davide is also very single. So that's all that was left pretty much. But they got real cozy. I'm wondering what happened in that Hideaway because it looked like there was a little lubricant on the floor. So we'll have to wait and see tomorrow's episode. How was the Hideaway for them last night? So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next video. Bye.